No pity, my message to the citizens committee, who's the biggest lawbreakers in the city. Full of corrupt politicians, red tape, roadblocks, criminals, no spots. What about these roads? No pity, my message to the citizens committee, who's the biggest lawbreakers in the city. Full of corrupt politicians, red tape, roadblocks, criminals, no spots. What about these roads? They walk through on the head with clothes fixed and hard ticks. A bunch of night sticks trying to hand his life quick, even kicks turn his thumbs. They make still in tasty, drag them out the car by his friends. Killing them, but telling them they should've got a ticket. Traffic out, truck stop, specify what is it. With every single witness saying he never resisted. Imaginary balls and ankles like clouds and instant. Cardiac arrhythmia, dehydration. You ever heard about conditional asphyxiation? The bruises and the scarring, the suffering and pain. 30-minute classes for the ambulance and came. I found it all insane. Deleting human sport. It took 5 months to get the autopsy report. The coroner and cops and the fucking state's attorney. No one cousin was dead before they put him on the gurney. No pity. My message to the citizens committee, who's the biggest lawbreakers in the city. Full of corrupt politicians, red tape, roadblocks, criminals, no spots. What about these roads? No pity. My message to the citizens committee, who's the biggest lawbreakers in the city. Full of corrupt politicians, red tape, roadblocks, criminals, no spots. What about these roads? Deceiving the public is something closer to impossible. Only autopsy, but we know it wasn't logical. Highly improbable, undetermined manner. I like the way you got set up the codes across the scanner. Just taking 13 out his names still unfinished. Your life was being threatened, not a single fucking blemish. On any of the officers involved in the murder of Tyrone West, man, that shit is unheard of. Let's go a step further. Examine all the evidence. 10 lying cops against the truth of all the residents. Cell phone footage, live interviews. I'm extra disappointed in the puppets from the news. Afraid to dig deeper, their information shot. 5 whole days until my family saw his body. No statement from the cops, but they spoke with their attorney. They know they killed my cousin when they put him on the gurney. No pity. My message to the citizens committee, who's the biggest lawbreakers in the city. Full of corrupt politicians, red tape, roadblocks, criminals, no spots. What about these roads? No pity. My message to the citizens committee, who's the biggest lawbreakers in the city. Full of corrupt politicians, red tape, roadblocks, criminals, no spots. What about these roads? They didn't notify my family, we saw it on the news. The one that saw a green Mercedes Benz, they got confused. They talking about a man dying in police restraint. She saw her tag numbers in his cars to the face. They can't be my brother's high, I was just with him. Not even 30 minutes before he became a victim. She had a funny feeling, kinda like a sixth sense. Her back started aching, her muscles got tense. She couldn't understand all the pain she was going through. Like they ripped the soul out of his body, he was showing you everything that happened to him, transmigration. He made you feel his pain before his final destination. They took away his father, cousin, grandson, and brother, uncle and nephew, but I feel sorry for my mother, cause she became his mom when my aunt passed away. We're stronger as a family, but she cries every day. No pity. My message to the citizens committee, who's the biggest lawbreakers in the city. Full of corrupt politicians, red tape, roadblocks, criminals, no spots. What about these road cops? Throw up your hands like you're under arrest. Hell no. Throw up your fists like you want protest. Hell yeah. Throw up your hands like you're under arrest. Hell no. Throw up your fists like you want protest. Hell yeah.
We've been fighting a long time. We've all lost so very much, so many more things gone. We're not alone. Our bodies of resistance all around, we're at the brink. Above all, stay alive. You have no idea how important you are.
Mic check, mic check.
Mic check. Mic check.
Mic check. Mic check.
Thank y'all for tuning in. This is West Wednesday number 369. I'm going to turn it over to Tawanda. Mic check.
Mic check. Thank you, Brother Ben. And as he just stated, this is week 369. And as you just saw the video, that was my cousin. And that is a true video of what happened to my brother Tyrone West. It was unreal. 5 days before we actually saw his body. Literally all the corrupt politicians, everything. Like, everything in that video, from me feeling the pain of when my brother was basically getting murdered, God allowed me to feel it and things of that nature. So it's really sad. So, as you know, we're still fighting, and just I wanted to start off by saying, can you guys keep my family in prayer? I just lost my stepdad, and y'all know shortly after my brother Tyrone West was murdered back in 2013, my father basically died like literally 3 to 4 months later after my brother. And this is my stepfather that died, so it's like, you gotta be kidding me. So I mean, life goes on, but as life goes on, this fight goes on too. And I just want to let you guys know, please don't take anything for granted, because tomorrow's not promised to anyone. It's not promised at all. Like, we're really in crazy times. 2020 is taking a beating on all of us, like, literally, like, with this pandemic, this everything is so crazy. So I just ask you guys now to just love on your loved ones while you got them. And I know it's hard to kind of hook up with them because we're actually in a pandemic. But I'm just really sad because I had promised my stepdad that I was going to come once the world got back to normal. We was going to go and do like a movie or something like that, dinner. And unfortunately, it didn't happen. I literally pulled up at work yesterday, didn't even get a chance to. I just posted my picture on Facebook, didn't even get a chance to get out my car. And my brother called me with that horrible news. It's just horrible. So, I mean, at the end of the day, we just gotta love each other. To me, that's what life is about, because when you think about tragedies, when they happen, the only thing you can think about is just love and our memories. That's all that we had. Like, literally, all I can reflect back and just say that, you know, my father's life spoke for itself. My stepdad's life spoke for itself. My brother Tyrone life spoke for itself. So it's about history. It's his or her story. What will your story say when it's your time? Because at the end of the day, guess what? The only thing promised to us is death. Unfortunately, we don't know how we're going to go, but one day we will go. But I just ask and pray that we all go with integrity, respect. And just to throw it out there real quick to kind of switch channels, but the first 2 killer cops, Ruiz and Chapman, are repeat violent offenders. Officer Ruiz, basically, Ruiz is a terrible repeat violent offender. Like, he had cases leading up to my brother's tragic murder, which I blame the city, because had they would have put Ruiz and Chapman both on that studio or anything, basically in a cell block for all of the atrocities that they had did leading up to my brother's death. They should have been placed in jail cell, but they didn't do it. But yet they still had these repeat offenders working on Baltimore City, police in Baltimore City Police Department. And it's just really horrible and sad. Like I always tell people, I am not anti-police. I'm anti-police brutality. That's a big difference. You know, so to me, a good cop is someone that does their job, speaks up, comes forward when they see stuff happen. So with this, I'm going to move on. And I love the fact that I had guests here, but I don't like the fact that we had to lose. Like the guests, my special guests tonight, and they had been on West Wednesday before, but the fact that we literally had to lose our loved ones, it's just horrible. I was just kind of pain anybody, because at the end of the day, like I said, we're all going to have that moment in time where we're going to no longer be with our family. Nobody should have to get murdered. And even with my father died, he wasn't murdered, but it still hurt. You get what I'm saying? So let's just live to love to live. I love you all. I'm going to start off with my first guest, Nicole. She's been on here. She's going to say, I definitely need a song. And I think right now, everybody needs a song. Because to me, her beautiful voice just like touched my soul. And throughout her tragedies of losing not only her father-in-law, but she lost her daughter, her 16-year-old baby girl, 2 weeks literally after Anthony Anderson was murdered. And in that video, you saw some of Anthony Anderson family members painting up a sign. All that, the video is basically put together in real time. I give it up for Baltimore Black, especially Pioneer. Pioneer put that video together. He took time to see Shorty when he was checking the media and things like that. All this stuff is real. We didn't do it because it was fun. This is our reality. But with that being said, Nicole is one of my guests. And then I had my sister Tony. Her son basically was murdered. And we just came up on his birthday, which he should have been here. And unfortunately, he is not here. And that's a big problem. And I also had my beautiful sister and I think her daughter as well, but the mother and grandmother of Stephon Clark, who was murdered. And thank God these beautiful queens are still fighting, still standing strong, and definitely going to support Stephon Clark Sunday. His brother does it every Sunday. And I'm definitely going to support my sister on this Monday. And I asked you guys when she shared at the end of this, she's going to tell us how to connect so that way you can tune in on Monday and be a part of it. It was beautiful last time she invited me on. I definitely walked away with a lot. So I'm going to start it up by letting Nicole come on and then Tony, and then we're going to keep it moving. So, mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Nicole, the floor is all yours, sweetie.
Nicole, you gotta unmute yourself.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
I'm so sorry. I didn't know I was on mute. But like I was saying, I'm Nicole Pettiford. I am the daughter-in-law of Andrew Anderson. My husband is Marcus Pettiford, and my daughter's name is Angie Herod. 2012 was a horrible year. September the 21st, in 2012, the police beat my father-in-law to death. The Baltimore City Police Department, they beat my father-in-law to death. 2 weeks later, my daughter was murdered behind being set up by the Baltimore City Police Department. And they thought that my daughter had snitched on someone and she had witnessed a murder. And with her witnessing the murder, the police took her downtown to question her without an attorney, without her parents present, or anything. So when they got wind of my daughter being taken downtown, that set off alarms for people around the city to say, okay, my daughter was snitching. She was 16 years old. She did not deserve to lose her life like that. One gunshot wound to the head took my daughter away from here. And that was 2 weeks after my father-in-law, Anthony Anderson, was killed by the police department, Baltimore City Police Department. It sickens me so much that sometimes I even get tongue-tied with saying Baltimore City Police Department, because I live here in Baltimore, but I hate having to associate that police department with a city that I stay in and where I've met so many wonderful people like Tawanda. And she has really been here for me to help me get through this. I have traveled with Tawanda all over the place, and I've gotten to meet a lot of wonderful people, like a lot of you that are on here tonight. I've gotten to meet you and hear your stories and the things that you went through. And this is not easy. It's hard. And no matter how many times you tell the story about what happened to your loved one, it still seems like it just happened that particular moment when you start to speak about it. And like I said one time before, the only way that they can kill us is to kill our names. And as long as we keep our family members' names alive, they can never kill them, ever. They will always be with us in our hearts, in our spirit, and our mind. And as long as I have breath in my body and I'm able to, I will be marching this march, and I will walk this walk, and I'm going to continue to fight this fight until things change. Because it's sad that we are afraid to even walk down the street to the corner store, because you don't know if that's going to be your last moment, because a police officer is going to have a bad day. He's gotten into an argument with his wife or his family members, or somebody on the job pissed him off, and then he wants to take it out on us. And the one thing that I do, like Tawanda said, I sing, but I do my music and stuff because that's what soothes me, that's what comforts me, and that's what helps me get through this every day, because it's so hard. And then it's wonderful to meet all of you. Like she said, I wish we didn't have to meet this way, But I loved meeting all of you, and I'm glad that I have all of you in my life because I know that it's somebody out there that's going through what I'm going through, and I'm not alone anymore. And that's what makes this fight worth fighting. And with that being said, I just want to share a song that I've been working on. You know, it's not the best, so bear with me. But I wanted to share this with you guys tonight. It's called He Blessed Me. And it goes, He blessed me through all the pain, and He blessed me through all the rain. When Jesus heard my story, He blessed me. I knew that He would. He blessed me. He understood. He blessed me. I knew that He would. So I'm asking, please hold my hand and bless me, and every man take my hand and walk me through, 'cause I need you. I'm feeling so blue, but He blessed me with all this good. He blessed me. He understood. So Jesus, please help me now, 'cause Jesus, I don't know how, but He blessed me, so shine me high, 'cause He blessed me, and I don't know why. Thank y'all.
Thank you. That was beautiful. Oh my God. We definitely needed that. Yes. And He truly blesses us through this pain. Yes. Thank you so much, my queen. So next up, I'm going to bring up my warrior queen, Tony, who has been not just fighting for her son, but she's been fighting for everyone. Like literally, like these are queens. Just like Nicole, she fights for everyone. Stephon Clark's grandmother fights for everyone. So like we're fighters. So I'm gonna bring my sister up. And again, I just thank y'all for your time. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Tony, the floor is all yours, sweetheart. Is Tony still on?
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
I thought I unmuted.
You did. Go ahead.
Once again, my name is Tony Taylor. I'm the mother. Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
What is going on here?
You're good. Keep going.
Hi, you guys can hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Tawanda, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, sweetie.
We can hear you. Go
I'm the
ahead.
mother of Kerry Ball Jr. Yesterday we honored Kerry. Today honored Kerry's life and birthday by the St. Louis Police Department headquarters in our downtown St. Louis. We held the balloon release in the on April 24th, 2013. The two officers that killed Kerry were Jason Chambers and Timothy Boyce. And the reason that I say he was so not have to lose his life that night. This has been a hard 7 years, and like Tawanda said, meeting all of these families is awesome, but up under the circumstances of meeting them is not. And that's very painful. This fight takes a lot out of you. It be so many different disappointments that her in St. Louis City, that's totally different from St. Louis County. So the prosecutor that handles Kerry's case is not the same prosecutor that handles Mike Brown's case. We just re-elected our new city prosecutor, she's faced multiple attacks during her term the first year around, that she couldn't even concentrate on focusing on any of the new police brutality cases. Kerry case didn't happen under her administration. At the time, Chief Dawson in 2013 was our chief. He called in the FBI to do an investigative. Well, I found out later that was a political trick to get it off his desk and to get it off our current circuit attorney's desk. I will watch the video of what happened to he did about those crater holes in the ground that was larger than a quarter. When we sat down and met with the feds, that the feds had Kerry case now and that they are not willing to give any information to our current circuit attorney. So that's where my fight is at. It's like the FBI is now trying to bury Kerry's case just because it landed in their hands. And I refuse to allow them to do that to my son because his life did matter to them. And I do believe that we still got some good cops out here, but right now I just feel like it's a bad day to be a good cop. You're not willing to tell on what the bad cops are doing. When you see them doing wrong, tell on what they doing wrong. Some type of way we need to all come together, the police brutality families. None of our jobs offer us immunity in the manner that a police officer gets immunity. We cannot go to work daily and decide that we can kill our coworker and then get off scot-free. That's not how that works. We will be treated as a criminal, we will be charged as a criminal, and we will be sentenced with real jail time like a criminal. And I feel like it's time that they do that with to police officers. Until we start getting police officers in jail with real time, I don't think that none of us is going to receive justice. And I'm sorry to say that, but we got to see a really big change with the way that these judges are handling these police brutality cases just as well as the prosecutors.
Amen.
And I just want to thank you again, Tawanda, for having me on again and
No, I thank you.
honoring my son and just being able to talk about Kerry. That really helps me a lot. And yesterday he would have.
Sis, could you repeat that? Because your mic kind of froze. I think your connection is kind of, gets really bad. But could you repeat? Yesterday he would have been what?
I can't hear you,
You
Tawanda.
said yesterday he would have been what? Cause your connection's really bad. He would have been, how old Curry would have been on yesterday?
Front door.
33 years old.
Wow. So young. Wow.
33.
Oh wow. Again,
3.
I'm sorry, sis. And I just 33, yeah.
Mhm.
So can we all say his name, guys? Can we say Curry Ball? Say his
He's
name.
been gone now 7 years.
Oh wow. I'm so sorry. Can we say his name, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
What's his last name?
Ball. Curry
Carry
Ball.
ball.
Carry ball.
Curry Ball again.
Gary Ball.
Gary Ball.
And thank you so much, Sister Queen. So we had Stephon Clark's mother on, but she,
Ball, B-A-L-L.
okay, Curry Ball, yes. So again, thank you, Sister Queen, for sharing. And we had Stephon Clark's mother on, but she had to do something really quick, so she had to hop off. But we still have my beautiful Queen sister, his grandmother on, so I'm going to turn it over to her. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
The sounds and the floor is all yours, beautiful.
Hi, beautiful. Hi, everyone that's on. You guys all look so good. This past Monday, we celebrate my grandson's 25th birthday. We celebrated it at Chavez Park. At the last minute, the DA put on TV that they was originally supposed to have it at Discovery Park. And my daughter and my grandson, they panicked. I didn't know what to do at the last minute. God made a way. And God, he just made it beautiful. Because if it wasn't for God, I don't know what we would have done. But they put on there, they had this other park that they closed down. They said that it was due to the homeless and all this kind of stuff what was happening in that park. That was in El Dorado. That's in another town. And that's that attorney, that so-called DA, thought he was trying to be against my grandson to be on the NFL. They wanted to take that off. And so my daughter got up and she spoke very well, and they're not taking nothing off. Matter of fact, she just did, I'm going to share it today when I get off. She just did with the NFL, I can't remember her name offhand, but she just spoke on the NFL, and I'm going to share it on Facebook. My daughter said to share it on Snapchat and Instagram. I don't have none of that. I only have Facebook, so everyone can share it. But like I was talking to my daughter today, I said, I wish we was never into this. It's hard. It's hard because I never looked at news and stuff like that, but now it's just terrible that everything, there's so many people that, and so much that we're going through. So all of us need the justice. That's what I'm finding. And I pray to God that we all get justice. And so anyway, let me go back to what I was talking about, the event that they canceled. They said Discovery Park will be closed. We heard of an event, a big event. Now they had you got to mind, they have all these people on the beach there at the park. It's a river. So they had all of that before my grandson's birthday coming up on Monday, this past Monday. So my grandson went on TV and Stefante, and he let them know what kind of park, but we was having rides. He had special rides for the kids, masks, everything. The food was distant. You had to be in your car to get the food. It was drive-through. Okay, and he's having everything for us so everybody can be protected. Well, they said, no, we're not having it because we heard of a special event, so they closed it. So my grandson, we go to Chavez Park, that's a park. So they still had everybody that from George Floyd and all of that. They still have all the that was murdered at this park, and still. So we went. And they had it there. We did the balloons. We had speakers dancing. He had the kids dance. He had social distance for food. They have masks. They had everything. So it turned out right. Turned out real good because they thought they was gonna stop it. And that was just so cruel. And this DA here in California is terrible, the Sacramento one. And so now they were trying to say that the NFL should shut down. But my daughter, they say shut down, don't put his name on it, that they need to retape it or redo this. And so on TMZ, the gentleman said, I have never heard of something like this. It was like chaos. Who would do something like this? And it's after all these years, he said he had never heard of that. So he said, he told my daughter, he said, we talked to Jay-Z and the Rock Nation, and that everything in NFL, I'm there have no kind of way to shut it down. So they still gonna advertise, which they had just now, did one yesterday for my daughter, and today it came on. So I'm still trying to figure out how to do it, but God did bless us, and my granddaughter, Kaylin Clark, that was with me when my grandson, her brother, was murdered. And she was laying right here. Matter of fact, I'm sitting by the window right now. There's the window. There's the window right here outside where my grandson was killed. It's right down there. We got a little memory. It's called Memory Haven for him with his football helmet. And I guess the real good thing that happened that day on his birthday, I got to talk to my great-grandson, and my daughter got to talk to her great-grandson. Yesterday was Aiden's birthday. He turned 6. He looks so much like his daddy, and I thank God that we got to talk to our babies. It was so, he said, great-grandma, my daddy's gone to heaven. I said, yes, baby, your daddy's gone. But your daddy's still here in your heart. He's here in your heart. And his grandmother, he talked to his grandmother, my daughter, Sequette, and he said he would never leave us. He would always be with us. So like Tony just said about, no, I don't know, it was a young lady just now said, a queen, that they would never, as long as we keep talking about her, all our loved ones, they're going to stay alive. But we got to keep fighting, and we got to keep talking. We don't care what nobody say, because they're going to try to bring us down. But we get up and stand, because God has the last say-so. Not no man, not no woman. God has the last say-so, and that's what I believe. And I thank God that we did get to celebrate on Zoom with my great-grandbabies, and yesterday for his birthday. So I just thank God for that, and I thank you too. Tawana, I love you so much. Guys, hopefully in Washington, D.C., I'll be leaving out Thursday morning, my grandson and I. So I hope to see everyone there, and that's all I have to say. Thank you. Sorry I got emotional.
No, you get emotional all you want to. I love you so much. Like, you're so beautiful and so strong, and you inspire me in every way. Like, I'm not lying. Like, you and Tony, y'all do something. And my sister Nicole, y'all do something to me that, like, oh my God, like, all this, like, since yesterday, had a black cloud over me. But seeing y'all and talking to y'all, lift the cloud right up, lift it completely up. And I know that God has a purpose for all of our pain. It's what we do with it. And trust me, your grandson did not die in vain. He did not. And I'm so glad that the NFL is honoring his name. And see what God has, nothing can take away. So, like, man may try to take stuff away, but when God gives him his word, he will stand on it and he will keep it going. His word is forevermore. So I don't care what the world do, as he has the final say so for those who believe. So I just thank you for being a strong. I'm sorry you had to go through that. Like, and two kings. It's just crazy. Both of y'all babies' birthdays was this week. You get what I'm saying? My birthday was last week, so it's a lot of stuff that we gotta give joy for. And I'm just glad that y'all standing strong. And make sure you share it with me, because I want to share it on my page. I can't wait to share. Anything, I'm gonna start stalking your page even more. But I love you so much, and you just keep doing what you're doing. I couldn't imagine the pain you're going through, but I just love the strength that you doing it. You know, while you going through this pain, you're still showing strength and tenacity, and that's the kind of thing that I live for. I can't wait to see you next week. I'm definitely gonna be in DC with you. I'm already there. I will see you Friday. If not Thursday, I might come up there Thursday, Friday, but most definitely Friday. I will definitely see you Friday. We'll be staying together as one, and I'm bringing Nicole. You going with me? So we going to DC. We're going to DC Friday. No, thank you. I thank you for being so strong, like, oh my God, like, I just can't imagine your pain, but I just thank God that you're living through it and you're being strong, and you keep being strong. But when you think of anything negative, just think about the joy. Just think about how I felt when you embrace those babies. Just say anything good, block out the devil. Anything good. Just flip the channel, because that's how the devil try to work. He'll try to keep us in a stay still place of sadness, darkness, you know, all type of stuff. He'll throw it on you all at once. But we had the power to turn that thing off, and that's what the good part. When I started saying about memories of life, like God give us our good memories, that's the stuff you can look back on and like, you can't take that away, and that's why, so we got them memories. We may not have them in the physical, but they're spiritually connected with us. He's right there with you right now. Tyrone and my father's right here looking at me and my son. They all looking at in my uncle. Like, they right here. You know what I mean? So, and it's not that, okay, we created this, but this is the truth. Like, they send us signs to let us know that they are here. Like, and people won't realize until they experience what we doing. And then they're like, oh, now I see what they're saying. You know what I mean? So, just keep believing, and God got us. Like, God is going to see us through. So I just thank you for your time and just your energy, your positive energy. And I love you so much, Queen. If there's anything that I can do to support, so can you tell us any way we can support that? I'm going to jump back to Tony, and I'm going to jump back to Nicole. What way can we support Stephon Clark? Sonia, just what ways can we support right now? Do you need to make some calls from Baltimore?
Yeah, it would be beautiful. I would like everyone to attend her Stephon Clark. We put Stephon Clark Sunday on Facebook to get on the link. So if we don't send it by phone, we don't know your phone number, please check on Stephon Clark Sunday. Ask my daughter if she's not your friend, put her as your friend. If I'm not your friend, ask for a friend request, and we'll put you on there, because she makes a Sunday, a flyer every Sunday before Sunday, so you can get all the information, so you can be on Zoom with her. And it's very powerful, and I'm so proud of my daughter. I am so proud that she came a mighty long ways, because, man, I just kept praying, but God brought her through, and she is so strong. I'm so proud of her, you know. So just tune in and support us at Stephon Clark Sunday. It's every Sunday at 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock. I would love your support.
Oh, yeah, I'll be there, definitely. I'll be there.
That you come home and sing.
I'll definitely be there.
And you can sing. Oh my God, you know, you just know, I felt the Holy Spirit when you sang. It's beautiful. I mean, God has gifted you. And I mean, to people. And I felt that when you were singing, and your voice is beautiful. And that's beautiful. That's God's gift. Let me tell you, I could never sing. Yeah, everybody in the family could sing, but I couldn't. So I said, well, God got me something else. He got me special doing everything else. But that's all right. But you are, the song, you touched my heart.
Thank you.
You really touched my heart. You bought it. You made me feel good. You made me feel better. I'm so sorry.
Thank you, beautiful. Definitely appreciate you. God got us. But I knew she would touch her. Like, she sang so good. Like, oh my God. Like, it's beautiful. Like, yeah. It's like, oh my goodness. She has a beautiful voice, and I believe that God gives us all types of, gifts. Her gift may be singing, yours is bringing people together because you brought us together. Like, you know what you did? We was in Minneapolis. We was all together surrounding you. Like, your spirit is so humble. So, like, everybody know that lane. Like, my name, if I try to sing, y'all might hang up. I might break you the halfway. I know my lady was in the kitchen as a baby. Dealing with the youngest, so yeah, that's my lady. But yeah, so yeah, so and Nicole, how can we support you, Queen?
The best way to support me is to continue to let me be on, be here for y'all, and for y'all to keep our family members' names alive by constantly keeping it in existence. Like I said, they can't kill us until they kill our names. And as long as our names are being said and being shouted from the rooftops, we will live on.
Yeah. And Tony, what way can we support you, Tony?
I don't think she can hear us.
Oh, so I think something's going on with my sister Tony's reception. So
Okay,
Tony.
actually, I'm trying to protest the FBI.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry guys that my sister, her reception is terrible right now, but her message is so powerful. So yeah, it's like real
Y'all hear me
simple.
now?
It's off and on, sis.
Yeah.
So yeah, Tony. So if you send me the information,
Yeah.
I'll
know
definitely.
how to protest the FBI
Okay.
and gain information from the FBI and turn it over. All right, thank you guys.
Thank you so much, Tony. So yeah, so that's what's up. Protesting the FBI because it needs to be done, man. It really do. Because they not gonna do their job. They all need to be investigated. Yeah. So we're gonna keep moving along. So any members of my West Coalition, would you like to share anything? Mic check.
Mike,
Mike,
I'd like to ask Stefan's grandmother a question. First, I want to acknowledge his recent birthday, and I hope that it was not painful. It was partially happy to think of him. And to see the NFL film, do we go to your Facebook page or the Stefan Sunday page?
you can go to both. You can go to Stefan Clark. It's my daughter. You can go to her page and go Stefante. Oh, you can go to my grandson's too. Stefante's and mine. We got everyone got it on. Well, my daughter and my grandson Stefante, and I have it also. So the new one that came out, I
Can you tell?
my daughter has.
Can you tell us? Yes. Can you tell us your name so we can find your page?
Oh, Sequita. It's spelled S-E. I got so emotional. I got hot. I had congestion heart failure. Okay. It's spelled S-E-Q-U-A. Sequita, and Thompson is T-H-O-M, P like in Paul, S-O-N.
And then also, Uncle Bill, when I get off, I'm going to actually share from her page, and I'll post it on my page as well, so you guys will be able to see it. So I'll definitely make sure you be able to see it. Like, if y'all can't find my queen or nothing, I'll definitely make sure I share it. Yeah.
Hey,
Very good. Well, Dewan, would you like me to talk about? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
oh, I was going to say, make sure you see the first one first. TMZ, and then the one today is TMZ. It's a show. I never knew about it, but now I know about it. It's a kind of show, TMZ. like in zebra. And saw that, and that's when the district attorney, he gets on there, and that's when TMZ tells him what, oh, it's terrible. But my daughter spoke so well, she shut him up. So get that one first, and then they just get the one yesterday, and it's filmed today from NFL, and it's called Real Talk. Some lady named Real, well, she's the host, but it's from Real Talk, and it's NFL. So that one I haven't posted yet, but she sent it to me, so I'll be putting it on post, and also I'll send it to Tawana to probably send it to her, or text it to her, like my daughter did me, and she can also put it on my email. Tawana, do I have your email?
I'll text it to you. I think you might, but I'm not sure. But I'll make sure you have it. I'll make sure to text it to you.
That would be better.
And tell your daughter I said I'm sorry she had to hang out because I was looking forward to actually getting a clue about her.
Next week she said if she can.
Okay, cool.
She'll try to speak if she can.
Nice.
She had to see, so yeah, that's why she had to get off.
Okay, cool. No, absolutely. So I'll be definitely seeing her this weekend. All right.
Okay.
Cool. All right. So Uncle Bill, what were you saying?
Well, there's two things I can speak about. I have the names of people who were killed by the police in the recent week all around the country. And last night I read the law enforcement officer Bill of Rights, which is this horrible law in Maryland that makes it almost impossible to prosecute police who commit brutality and murder. But I read it, and if you like, I could give a summary of how it shields the police, all the different parts of it. There's 17 parts that protect the police who commit brutality. But I don't want to take the time to figure out that, so whatever your call is.
I think it's important and needed, and also just to throw in there real quick before I forget. I feel like I'm getting senile. Cause I have so much on my mind, it's too much. But I wanted to mention that this week coming up on the 25th, we're going to have next week is going to be a real powerful week. I need everybody, Lottie and everybody to support Ryan Dorsey. He's presenting a bill hearing. We're trying to get this monument for the victims of all the victims of police brutality, and it's going to be at 2 p.m. on the 25th. So I'll be sharing the link and the information. I need everybody to jump in. If you can testify, but I definitely need everybody to support this bill. Because that's the only thing that Ron Dorsey really can do for us. Like, if he could change and knock down this officer killing rights, which Uncle Bill is going to tell us about, because that's the same thing that basically is their security blanket. Basically secured them when they murdered my brother Tyrone West. They had up to 2 weeks to obtain an attorney, right, just to get an interview, and they basically took like 3 to 6 months in my brother's case, but they had 2 weeks, but they literally, some of them did not give statements until 5 or 6 months later, and this one officer, he elected not to even give a statement. We don't know who or she did, if it was a he or she, but we don't know what this officer in blue would have shared. And why wouldn't they want to give a statement? So that will always pump my family. We don't know what him or her would have said or whatever, but it's just really sad. So those people, then next week, also, we're going to do a special West Wednesday, and this is going to be via Zoom it's going to be live through Zoom, and we're going to be, and I'm honored because Senator Jill Carter is basically going to be the moderator. We're going to be having a discussion about the Civilian Review Board, and this is going to be really big, so I want everybody to tune in next week on those 2 days. So, and then also at the end of the week, on Friday, I will be in D.C., not supporting Al Sharpton at all, because I don't support him. He splits the families up, but I am supporting the movement, so, yeah, so that's pretty much it. So, Uncle Bill, you can take it over. Mic check.
Mic check.
Can you tell us one more thing? Yes. Tawana, can you tell us one more thing? At what time and where in Washington are people meeting up?
Okay, so if you want more information about the DC thing, we're going to do, so basically what we're going to do, And we're kind of letting my sister Ishtan, who does Every Case Matter, we're trying to basically, we're going to take all these signatures. Remember I shared about the signatures about Every Case Matters and trying to open up all the cases. So what we're going to do is we're going to be marching down to the DOJ and in DC. So we're going to start up early that morning. We're going to try to head out to DC, I want to say like 9 o'clock in the morning, because we want to get there. Everything's going to kick off in the afternoon, like 12 o'clock. Like literally at noon, we're going to do a big march from, and I'll share more details as they come underway. So I'll make sure I share all that by tomorrow with you guys. And let me know who wants to go so we can because I don't know how I'm going to get, I don't know if I'm going to take the train, I don't know if I want to do the traffic type of thing, because I know the traffic's going to be horrible. So I'm trying to still plan how am I getting there type of thing. So we'll be definitely talking, so yeah.
Okay, so on the Law Enforcement Officers Bill of Rights, LIBOR is the nickname. It protects police up and down, no matter how horrible a deed they've committed. So the first thing is that anyone who's been brutalized by the police only has 90 days to file. After that, they can no longer file a complaint. Number two, the police that are accused have 10 days, and during that time, they can pick, and choose a lawyer they want, and get that racist organization they have, the Fraternal Order of Police, to represent them. But the chief of police can extend that 10 days, which I didn't know before I read it. Number four, during a hearing, the cop who's on, it's not trial exactly, but the cop who committed brutality or is accused of brutality, they can call for a recess at any time to consult with their lawyer, and they can object to any question. Number five, after the interrogation is over, the police department has to have a printed copy of the interrogation results, and they have to give it to that cop 10 days before there's a hearing. And that means that the cop can make sure if he told some lies during the interrogation, he can tell the same lies again at the hearing. Number six, a cop is allowed, who's accused, is allowed to refuse a polygraph test, to refuse a blood alcohol test, to refuse a breath test, and refuse the urine test, and refuse interrogation. All of those things. Seven, any test, examination, or interrogation that's ordered by the police department is not admissible or discoverable in a criminal proceeding against the cop. So if the cop says something or admits to something, that can't be used later in court. It can't even be discovered in court. Number eight, the results of a polygraph test, if there is one, it's used as evidence in the administrative, it can only be used as evidence in the administrative hearing in the police department if the cop agrees that it can be used. Number nine, the hearing board, after the investigation, the hearing board within the police department consists entirely of other cops. Number 10, the police department or the government can negotiate with the representative of the cop, that's usually the Fraternal Order of Police, for an alternative membership of the board that reviews the case. So it's ordinarily all cops, but if they want to do something unique and different, they can negotiate a different board that hears the case. But that negotiation is between the cop and his representative and the agency. Number 11, if the cop and his representative create an alternative type of a board for the hearing, the cop gets to choose if he wants that or if he wants the original board. Number 12, if the result of the hearing within the police department finds that the cop is not guilty, remember these are other cops making the decision, if they find that he's not guilty, that terminates the action. It doesn't go to the commissioner to perhaps act on it. It's dead once they rule in favor of the cop. 13, if the board makes a decision that the cop doesn't like, he can appeal it. And if the chief issues a final order, that can be appealed also by the cop. Number 15, a recommendation by the hearing board. Suppose, for example, they think the cop is guilty. That's not binding on the chief of police. The chief of police does not have to follow that, even if they find him guilty. Number 16, after a certain period of time, if the cop is not found guilty, he can have the complaint expunged from his record, and it will no longer be there in the police department record. And number 17, the evidence of a formal complaint in another case with the same cop is not admissible within the departmental hearing or in a judicial proceeding if he was exonerated in the earlier case. In other words, you can't bring up previous charges against the police, as we've seen in our experience at some of these hearings. So they're protected again and again, and this is only the law, the Law Enforcement Officers' Bill of Rights. Then from the Supreme Court, there was a case which set up limited immunity, and then there's the contract that the Fraternal Order of Police has with the police department, which has other protections. So they're protected up and down, these killers. That's partially why, there are other reasons, but that's partially why less than 1% of them who kill people are ever seriously prosecuted. So I just want to run through those details from the law. In the light of George Floyd and the upload recently, there's some talk about changing that law, some talk about repealing the law. As far as I'm concerned, it should be repealed. There's nothing in that law that needs to be there. But we talked to a politician this morning. It was part of the state legislature, and he was not for repealing it. And I will see what happens. So that's it on the Law Enforcement Officers' Bill of Rights.
Hey, Bill?
Yes.
This is Brian. If I can add two more things from that bill that you did not include. First is, in order for someone to make a complaint against an officer, they have to go and deliver a sworn complaint that has to identify them and say what the charges are, and that complaint is available to the officer. You can't make an anonymous complaint. You can't ask that your name be withheld. You can't say, I'm afraid of being terrorized by this guy, or that his friends will beat me up. It has to be a notarized complaint. And that if it's a notarized complaint, then it's going to give your name and your address. And so that's a huge disincentive for people to come forward right there. And then the other thing is sort of on the other end of the same thing, that even if a cop is found guilty and is given some punishment like a 10-day suspension or a reduction in grade or whatever, even if he's found guilty, if 3 years pass and he's still in the police department, he can still demand that conviction be expunged from his personnel record. Even if he's found guilty, he can get that taken off after 3 years. So, both of those things, again, like I said, on either end, it's just another way that they make it harder, make it less likely to be successful, or to mean anything, even if it is successful.
I just want to jump in real quick. I thank Uncle Bill for explaining it, breaking it down, because I knew it was dirty, but I didn't know how dirty it was. And I thank you, Brian, for adding on the extra dirtiness. This is crazy. It's a complete way for them to get away with the perfect murder, the perfect crime. It is horrible. And this is the reality of it. If you see, so what this does is place them above the law. It don't place them to hold a standard, a higher standard to respect the law. It places them above the law. And that is utterly ridiculous. It basically allows them to live up to its order. So I think about when they were slave catchers and their mentality when they were catching us and killing us, and they're still doing that. That is awful. And we wonder why there's no justice for Stephon Clark, no justice for Corey Ball. It's just horrible. That is awful. No justice for Tyrone West, Anthony Anderson, the list goes on. This is terrible. I just want to say that. Sorry.
And the other thing I'll do is I have the list of names of individuals who the police killed in the United States between August the 8th and August the 15th. I'm sorry, it's 16th. Starting with the 10th to the 16th. So that's the most recent week for which names have been released. And I want to hold up these names. I'll announce the state and the age, and when I say the name, if you'd like to repeat and uphold the name of the person and honor the person, that'd be great. So first, making sure my mic's on. Okay. First, NV, what state is that?
Nevada.
Nevada.
Thank you. From Nevada, 32 years old, Joshua Squires.
Joshua Squires.
Number 2, from New Mexico, and there may be a few I mentioned last week because the weeks on this don't match our weeks of West Wednesday. Also on the 10th, from New Mexico, no age given, Jose Vallejos. From North Carolina, 35 years old, Bobby Minor.
Bobby
Minor.
From New Mexico, 50 years old, Kenneth Reese.
Kenneth Reese.
From NE, what state is that?
Maine.
Okay, thank you. From Maine, 40 years old, Americo Reyes. From Colorado, 48, Liana Gilmore.
Liana Gilmore.
From Oklahoma, from Oklahoma and Arizona, there are 2 people killed on the 11th and the 13th by the police. They were not yet identified. Pardon me? Okay, I'll go ahead. All right. On the 14th of August, Joshua Gay.
Joshua Gay.
From Tennessee, 41 years old, Fred Arcara. From California, 32 years old, on the 15th of August, Anthony McLean. From Florida, 51 years old, killed by the police on the 15th of August, Rick Lee Miller. From Colorado, and Tennessee, 2 more unidentified people, 1 killed on the 15th, 1 killed on the 16th. And 2 more people killed by the police, of which there is a record. California, 27 years old, Jose Castro. And the last person from Nevada is, as of yet, has not been identified. And as we know, the police kill about 1,100 people a year. This was true during the Obama years, and it's been true during the fascist years of what's he called? Who got a good nickname for him?
45.
Trump.
Cheeto Jesus.
Orange Top. So it's all been true during him. And that's all I wanted to say today.
Well, thank you for sharing that, and I just want to let y'all know, every name that y'all heard, that is somebody, that's a human being that was brutally murdered. And this is all in a week. This is not the years. This is all in 1 week around the world, worldwide. It is horrible. Let that register. It can easily be any one of us. It can easily be any one of your loved ones at any given time. It doesn't matter. At any given time, you gotta understand that they hide under the cold blue. And then they stand by it, they live by it. They're the biggest gang, worldwide gang. And they get away clearly with murder.
Yeah.
You wanna be a murderer or a terrorist, you in the police department in any state. That's all I gotta say, and that's horrible. But I want you to know that it's easy to read a name off of a page or whatever. It's easy to even see somebody else's face. Well, what if it was your loved one's face? What if it was your loved one's face plastered upon the news? Horrible. Nobody deserves to be brutally murdered. Not by law enforcement officers and not by average citizens. No one deserves to be brutally murdered. Period. Hey Marcus, how you doing? Salute. But no one deserves to be brutally murdered. Period. And Brian, speaking of murder, do you have that unfortunately sad list of murders here for Baltimore City?
Yes, I do. And I just want to, I haven't seen Bill recently enough to thank him personally for his work in digging out the list of police murders for the U.S. because I think that's really important, for what we do here. But I also think it's important to talk about these other people, to bring up their names and lift them up, because police murders, especially evil part, but it's only a part of what we're fighting. I mean, we're fighting against the brutality and the hatred that permeates this whole society. And so, so part of that is us as individuals and individual people, and part of that is big systems. We have to remember that both of those things have to change as we go forward. So this week in Baltimore, we lost 3 more lives. Latonio Stewart, 28.
Antonio Stewart, 28.
28.
Raquan McFadden, 19.
Raquan McFadden,
19.
Larry Stewart, 30.
Larry Stewart.
Larry Stewart, 30.
Thank you.
Thank you. And again, if you're listening and you're hearing those names, that is someone loved where our city has failed us. It's sad the way that we're getting murdered, and all the media can do is just have a quota of a certain amount of expected deaths. Why can't it be a certain amount of expected lives to be saved? It's just really sad. Year after year, they give us these numbers, and they don't have no type of empathy when someone loved one gets murdered. It's sad that we have to deal with that kind of trauma over and over again. It is horrible. We don't know if we're going to be murdered by average citizens or these corrupt police officers. It's horrible. It's just horrible. You just don't know. It's so sad. And I just want to know, when are things going to change? Are they ever going to change? Or they're going to constantly, year after year, remain the same? Since we met the 2015, right back to 2015, when we had the quote-unquote uprising, right? We had the uprising. That's when all of the murder rates just skyrocketed high from 2015. Now we're in 2020, and they're studying. And what rate are they going to say enough is enough? And look at the neighborhoods in which they're happening in. This is really sad, and that's why I made it a point last week to have a hero show to highlight people that were doing stuff and that were saying stuff, and even though it was tragic. And we had D. Jones on here last week when we had the explosion right here in our city, and he went off of his front. He had no shoes on. He was drinking water on his front porch. And when he heard this explosion, he didn't think about his life or anything. He ran, and he was able to fool an elderly woman. Then he said, keep on, calling out, letting us know we can hear you, are you okay? And by tracing her sound, him and other niggas that acted diligently in a tragic situation, they didn't just come running with their iPhone, cell phone, video recording. They actually were helping out. Then we had my brother Prince, who actually was driving to the gas station, and he saw a car wreck right in front of him. A car was about to explode. And he did the most honorable thing. He brought a young lady, pulled her out. Even though, unfortunately, the sister Queen didn't make it. But thank God she didn't blow up in that car. Thank God, what would have happened if he wouldn't have acted? And that car blew up literally after he pulled her out. And all this happened at the same time. I think it was Tuesday night. But one happened in the morning, Tuesday morning, then the other one happened at night. It could have been money, but the saddest thing, all this happened on that scene. And they stepped into action. Then we had my brother Edward, or Tad's son, Dr. Tad, right? He saved a family. Not just, I thought it was one young girl. He saved her brother. He brought the mother and father out of a burning house fire. And that happened in 2015, shortly after the uprising. So we think about these heroes. We can all be a hero. When you see something wrong, act. Don't just sit there and watch. Do not just do that. You can do something, even if it's call for 911, pull over, check on somebody, check on your neighbor, help someone. And I want to give a big shout out to my sister Queen, who basically, her neighbor, was feeling sick and ill, gave her door keys. Her name is Pooch, gave her door keys to her house. Normally my sister, she sells dinners in her neighborhood, but this lady felt so safe with her and said, you know what, I'm gonna hand her my door keys. Call my loved ones. I don't know, I'm feeling sick. I feel like I might pass away. And she had to take this lady keys, but not only just take the keys, she took on a duty of calling people didn't even know to tell them that her family member was in a crisis. But she did something to help. She could have easily shut her door and say, no ma'am, I can't do it. It's all about helping each other. That's what the world is about. It made me feel so good, literally, when my assistant director basically stepped in yesterday when I was crying and all I asked was 5 minutes before I went into the classroom, let me get myself together. She said, you know what, go back home to Rwanda. And she gave me a hug. That will carry me forever. It's stuff like that that means the most. It's stuff like that that counts. People are looking for your response. When they're going through, even if you can't help, put them on to somebody that can help. But don't just not do anything. Once you not do anything, that's when you become cold. And this world is cold enough. We don't need any more cold souls. So anybody else want to add on before we kind of wrap it up? Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
I'll just say can't stop, won't stop. So killer cops are in cell blocks.
Absolutely. Definitely won't stop. And again, I want to give a big shout out to like everyone just for y'all time. I know that y'all could have been anywhere tonight, but the fact that y'all are here means the world to me. And then Cole, I saw your husband Marcus. Do you want to add anything before we wrap up?
Unfortunately he left. He had to leave out.
Okay.
So I'm just here
Okay,
supporting
cool.
both of us.
No, he was just speaking. I just wanted to make sure I didn't leave his voice out if you wanted to add. So do anybody want to add on anything, any reminders, any questions, any comments before we literally wrap up?
Tawanda, did you want to say anything about next week?
Oh, yes. So again, another friendly reminder, next week I will be sending out the Zoom information. That way you can watch us because we're going to, and thank you again, Ben, for all that you do because this man, like, this my hero right here. Like, he's in front of the movement and in back of the movement at all times. So I just love that in him. Like, and I really appreciate it. Stuff, like I said, acts of kindness goes a long way. Like, when this man was actually sick and he jumped on Westwood, he was in his bed, I think he slept like 10 hours that day, but he literally got out of bed. Just not because he felt good or felt like it, but he actually got out. And we know how it feels when you're sick. Like, that is horrible. When you are sick, you just need to be in bed, but he got out of his bed and he held on and he did West Wednesday with us. He made sure we got through, and then he didn't cut it off or anything. So I just want to thank you for everything that you do. I want to thank Bill. I want to thank the Hellebacks. I want to thank each and every last one of you guys. I just love you guys so much, and just thank you. I want to thank Runners of Justice, Gretchen. I want to thank my sister Queen, Charlene. I just want to thank all of you guys. I love you guys so much. But just to give you a little feedback for next week again, another friendly reminder. We have 3 important days. On the 25th, I'm gonna need y'all because we're gonna be testifying to support Brian Dorsey, Bill. He's trying to get this memorial. This is Columbus Memorial renamed after all the victims, in honor of all the victims of police brutality. So we want to do that. That's gonna be at 2:00. And then on that Wednesday, Ben is gonna be doing a special West Wednesday where, again, like I mentioned, Senator Jill Carter is going to be the moderator of a great discussion that you guys do not want to miss. So definitely want to be there for that. And then again, on Friday, we will be in D.C. This Friday, we will be in D.C., so I'll be sharing again. So just wanted to highlight that. So, and I'm sorry, Shaquita, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I'd like everyone to meet my husband. His name is Tom. Well, tell me your name, honey.
My name is Tony Thompson.
Hi, Mr. Thompson. Hi, how are you?
Hi, Mr. Thompson.
Hi.
Let them know that you was in the house that night when our grandson got murdered, Papa.
I was at the window talking to him.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And it's an honor to meet you. It's such an honor. Because I got a chance to meet your beautiful wife. Like, and it's such an honor to meet you. And I just thank you guys just so much just for y'all strength. Just thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's an honor. My
Yes,
pleasure.
very good to meet you.
Bye. All right. Nice meeting you too.
Take care.
And just know that Stephon Clark is really proud. He has a real family to be super proud of. I'm proud of you guys, but I know he's looking down smiling like, that's my family, though. I know he's looking down smiling. Yes. I love it. Yeah. So, do anybody else want to share before we wrap up? Any last or final thoughts?
I just want to say I appreciate y'all inviting me every week. I love all of you, and we are going to continue this fight. That's all I have to say.
Amen, sis. You already know. Until we win, like our brother said, until we win, we're going to keep fighting until we win.
Yes.
Absolutely. So again, I want to thank you, and then just to let you guys know that Mickey does a phenomenal job of keeping the school clip and breaking it up into little small clips. And all he asking us to do is just share it. And how can we not share our own stories? Because that's amplifying our voice like on so many levels. So I'm just asking y'all, once he makes these little short videos, I'm going to share. And again, I thank Ben for putting it on all the major platforms. I thank Eva, who's been making page after page and just make sure everything is kept up. And just, I can't thank you guys enough. I thank Melody for controlling the West Ramsey email list. Just all you guys. I can go on all night thanking y'all. And it wouldn't be enough. So I just want to thank y'all again and again. I will be sharing stuff on Clark information and stuff. So when I share it, I want y'all to continuously share it. And I want y'all to look out for it in the NFL, so it's definitely coming. And like I said, nobody can stop what God has promised. Just like I always think about my sister, Rhonda, with her daughter Corinne Gaines, who has actually won her son. Even though it's not about the income, it's always about the outcome. But when you got a jury of our peers that say, you know what, Officer Killer Ruby was guilty as hell of murdering Corinne Gaines and trying to assassinate her baby son, right? And find them guilty as hell and reward them a huge settlement, which that none of all the money in the world cannot bring back our loved ones. So we would, however, want to have our loved ones here. We can choose to have our loved ones back here on earth with some money. You already know we want our loved ones back. You can take your money and rub it up your hind parts, right? We want our loved ones back. He's just like, I would trade my life to get Tyrone West back. Because I know he can hold my family down and everything. I would trade my own life for my brother. So I said all that to say, we just gotta keep pushing this thing, keep on fighting. But when we get it wrong, it's up to us to get it right. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, God will see us through. Because even in that case, she won a settlement. But yet, the world is so evil and mean to say, you know what? You guys ain't deserve that. You made them feel sick. All the stuff they make up stuff. And then I think about Keith Davis Jr., right? You cannot make this stuff up. It's an innocent man, y'all, that's sitting in a jail cell. But he's killing cops to do it, right? If we can reverse the time, we should end the cops that almost killed Keith Davis Jr. They should be sitting their hind parts in that jail cell. For shooting that man over 30-something plus times, hitting him 3 times, trying to kill him, they all should be sitting in the goddamn jail cell. But because he survived after an uprising, just imagine, they thought the story was over. They thought the story was over. They thought that they could make up any goddamn thing that they want to. And I would be sure to even say we need to highlight, always keep Jarrell Gray in our hearts and our thoughts, right? His analysis always keeps it real with us, and he fights like hell. And I know Jarrell is super proud of his that's fighting. He was tasered to death, y'all. They can't keep on murdering us and just walking away. It's going to come a time where enough is enough. And and I hate to say it, it's either we're going to get it right now while we can, or something bad is going to happen even more. It's going to get worse. That's what I got to say. If it don't get better, it's going to get worse. Let's be real clear and crystal clear about that, because enough is enough. Just like people were quick to throw this young man that saw a repeat violent offender, Sergeant Choke, a man out in West Baltimore. He put his life on the line and said, stop choking him. The officer, sergeant, or whoever he was, lied and said that he spit upon him and all this stuff. But it wasn't until the body footage came out to clean this young man of all these trouble. But we were so quick to throw somebody in the house out, throw somebody away. I'm telling y'all, enough is enough. We gotta be better, man. So I had said all that to say, I love you guys all. I will see week for a very special West Wednesday. It's going to be 370 weeks, right? And we're going to have this big discussion that you do not want to miss. You do not want to miss this. And don't forget, please don't forget the day before the city council hearing. Please, Brian Dorsey is like phenomenal. Like he's doing something so selfish. He's already in office. He has nothing to prove. Let's be clear. He has no motive but saying, you know what? I really want to see something done. Like if, you know, officers can get on and they can have their little memorial site, why not? Why can't the victims, they get murdered, right? At a more rampant pace than them. And I'm not trying to be petty comparing because no one deserves to be brutally murdered. But at the same time, if we can uplift and highlight officers, we can uplift and highlight the victims that were murdered as well. So thank you guys for your time. And we want to take you away with this phenomenal video. It's my sister. She's on there. Her husband is on here. So just check the video out. Y'all have seen it numerous times. But I love this video. You will see my brother Boom in there. You will see me in there. And it's just real. This police brutality is real. So again, don't forget to support Stephon Fox Sunday. I'm going to be sharing it because I'm going to be on there Sunday night. And I expect to see all you guys. And Monday, my sister, she's doing a special show. She got a Zoom call. Send you guys a link. And hopefully, if y'all can't even join, it's going to be 9 o'clock our time because it's 6 o'clock. We're a 3-hour time difference. But I hope to see you guys all. And don't forget to share the small clip. Special shout out to Mickey again. Special shout out to everybody. Love you guys. Live to love. Love to live. See you all next week. Mic check. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Starting to show cause you was a no limit soldier. I thought I told you, God picked the candy right here. No justice, no peace. We in the war with the killer police. No justice, no peace. We in the war with the killer police. So my life will never be the same. I promise to put a lot of laws up under your name to put an end I won't stop, I can't stop until killer cops are in cell blocks. I won't stop, I can't stop until killer cops are in cell blocks. No justice, no peace. Shut your door with the killer police. No justice, no peace. We in the war with the killer police. I won't stop, I can't stop until killer cops are in cell blocks. I won't stop, I can't stop until killer cops are in cell blocks. Hashtag Tyrone West, YouTube, Baltimore Block, and these killer cops belong in cell blocks. Perez, Omar, Bernez, Ruiz, Nicholas Davis Chapman, Matthew Coffey, Alice Hagatha, Eric Hilton,